Okay, looking at number 7, we have negative x plus 5y equals 20 and 12y equals 2x plus 60. So the problem with these two equations is they don't look the same. The first one has the x and the y on the same side of the equal sign, and the bottom one has the y by itself over here on the left. So in order to solve them by elimination, we want them to be set up the same way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the second one so that the x and the y are both on the same side, just like they are up on the first one. So in order to do that, if I want to move this 2x over here, I need to subtract 2x on each side. So I have negative 2x plus 12y equals 60. Okay, so this equation basically goes away. So here are my two equations that I have. Now, as I look at it, nothing is going to cancel. Okay, I have a negative x and a negative 2x. I have 5y, 12y. Nothing is an opposite. But what I'm noticing is that the easiest thing to make an opposite would probably be the x's. Okay, now here I have negative 2x. If I could make this top one a positive 2x, it will cancel everything out. So in order to make this a positive 2x, I'm going to have to multiply it by a negative 2 because your two negatives would make it a positive. So, and I'm just going to write this right down below here. Whenever I multiply this all the way through, negative 2 times negative x is a positive 2x. Negative 2 times 5y is negative 10y. And negative 2 times 20 is negative 40. Now we can add these two together. So negative 2x plus 2x, those are the opposites, so they're going to cancel. 12y minus 10y is 2y, and 60 minus 40 is 20. Whenever I divide by 2, I get y equals 10. Then I still need to find x. So I'm going to go ahead, since I marked this one out completely, I'm going to go ahead and just plug it into the top. So we have negative x plus 5y equals 20. So I'm going to put this 10 right where the y is. Just like that. And then I just start to solve it. So negative x plus, well, 5 times 10 is 50, equals 20. Subtract 50 on both sides. So negative x equals negative 30. Now, I don't care about negative x. I want to know what just x would be. So if a negative x is equal to a negative 30, that means a positive x would be equal to a positive 30. And when I write this as my ordered pair up here on number 7, remember your x comes first. So we have 30, 10. And there's your ordered pair. Okay, jumping down to 8, 9, and 10. It says, without graphing, determine whether the system of linear equations has one solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solution, and explain your reasoning. Okay, so before we even do this, I want to make a few notes. So over here, kind of on the side, if something's going to have no solution, if a system's going to have no solution, that means your lines will be parallel, so they never cross each other. And if you look at the equations, in order to be parallel, they have to have the same slope, same number in front of the x. So that's no solution. For it to have infinite solutions, That is where they are the same line, exact same line, and therefore it's going to be the same equation also. Okay, now the equations may look a little bit differently, but if they're the exact same, and then it's going to be infinite solutions. For it to have one solution, that's when you have two totally different equations. There's nothing in common with either one of them, totally different. So let's jump over and look at number 8. We have y equals 4x plus 6 and 2y equals 8x plus 12. The first thing I notice is there's a pattern from the first one to the second one. I multiply by 2 every single time. So these two equations are essentially the exact same thing, just the first one is a simplified version of it. Okay, so since they are the exact same equation, right here, what I have in green, this would have infinite solutions. So I'm going to write this under here where I have more room. Infinite solutions, and we need to explain, and that's because they are the same equation. Just multiplied by 2. Okay. Now if you look at number 9, we have y equals 3x plus 5 and y equals 3x minus 5. Okay, so the first thing I notice is these are two very, very similar equations, but they're not exactly the same. Okay, one says plus 5, one says minus 5. So they're not the exact same, so they're not infinite. Also, what I notice is they have the same slope. Both have a 3 in front of the x, and that would be the slope. So the one that defines that would be no solution. They have the same slope. So this one will have no solution because they have the same slope. And then number 10, we have y equals 2x plus 7 and y equals 3x minus 1. Okay, as I'm looking, I'm trying to find a pattern, see if there's anything in common with either one of them, and there is nothing. These are two totally different equations. So this is going to have one solution because they are two different equations. Okay, so make sure you know the difference between the three of those and when to know if a system has one solution, infinite solutions, or no solution. It's really easy to tell. You don't have to do any work. You can just tell by looking at them. Okay? So moving on to number 11. It says, at a sporting event, the price for 3 cheeseburgers and 2 cups of lemonade is $14. And the price for 2 cheeseburgers and 4 cups of lemonade is $12. How much does it cost for 1 cheeseburger and 2 cups of lemonade? So I'm going to set up a system. Okay, and remember we just take one thing at a time that they give us. So the very first piece of information they give us is the price for 3 cheeseburgers. I'm going to use a C for cheeseburgers. And 2 cups of lemonade, and I'm going to use a cursive L for lemonade. Reason I'm not going to use a regular L is because it looks too much like a 1. Okay, so 3 cheeseburgers and 2 cups of lemonade has to equal 14. My other equation says 2 cheeseburgers and 4 cups of lemonade has to equal 12. Okay, so here's my system. They want to know what it costs for 1 cheeseburger and 2 cups of lemonade. So we need to solve this and figure out what C would be and what L would be. So it's not in a form. The equations aren't in a form to graph them. And it looks like neither one of them is solved for C or L, so I can't substitute. So the easiest way to solve this would be to eliminate one of them. So as I look, I notice the 2 and the 4, it'd be easy to change this 2 into a -4 to cancel that out. So in order to do that, I'm going to take this top equation and multiply it by a -2, because again, I want to take this and make it a -4L so that it will cancel with this +4L. So what I get is -2 times 3C is -6C. -2 times 2L is -4L. And -2 times 14 is -28. And then I can just add these two together. So 2 minus 6 is -4, so -4C. My 4L and -4L cancel. And 12 minus 28 is -16. Divide both by -4, and you get C equals 4. So what that means is 1 cheeseburger cost $4. But now we need to know how much the lemonade is. So I'm just going to take this 4, and I'm going to replace it. And you could do either equation up here. Let's say you do the first one. 3C plus 2L equals 14. But instead of the C, I'm going to replace it with the 4. So 3 times 4 plus 2L equals 14. Well, 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract 12 on each side. You get 2L equals 2. So L has to be 1. So the lemonade is $1. So it says, how much does it cost for 1 cheeseburger and 2 cups of lemonade? Well, 1 cheeseburger would be $4. 2 cups of lemonade would be $2 since they're $1 a piece. So your answer is that would be a total of $6. Okay, now looking at number 12, last one. It says, at a restaurant, you eat 2 taco salads and drink 2 glasses of iced tea. Your friend eats 1 taco salad and drinks 1 glass of iced tea. They charge you $11 and your friend $6.50. Can you determine the prices of the taco salads and the iced tea? So it says you eat 2 taco salads, I'm going to use S for salads, and 2 glasses of iced tea, and they charge you $11. Your friend had 1 of each and gets charged $6.50. So what I want you to notice right away is that what you had was double or 2 times what your friend had. Did they charge you twice as much as what they charged your friend? And that answer is no. They charged you less. If they truly charged you double, you should have been charged $13. So can you determine the prices of the taco salads and the iced tea? And explain. This is going to be no, because you were charged a different amount for the taco salads and tea.